Antonio.
New York City, 6 a.m. An out-of-control satellite radio show is being broadcasted to millions of Americans. At the controls, Greg Hughes, a father.
Oh, this is perfect. This is how it should be.
Anthony Cumia, an alcoholic.
Hey, hi.
And Jim Norton, a comedian.
It's me! I work here!
Glad I got that one out.
Are we on live now? Is it happening? This is it?
The three men make up the Opie and Anthony Show, a popular radio program known for its cringe style of entertainment and having very few limits.
I like where this is going. I'm seeing a lot of options here.
This is like different than any other radio.
No telling what we're going to hear in here today. Tits, ass, tons of cuss words.
It's just not like radio. It's like hanging out.
In the past, they have been accused of multiple FCC violations and have even gotten their show suspended from satellite radio.
This is why. This is American freedom of speech.
It's good on every level.
Insane.
Every second is funny.
Wildly funny.
And philosophically spotless.
Everything you are about to hear is real. Real people, real excitement. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
We're just chit-chatting.
We're having a fucking...
E-Rock starts the show without even a hint that we're on.
Didn't you see that we didn't have headphones on?
Yeah, we're talking to each other.
No, because
How long has the rage music been on?
Maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, but we're just chit-chatting.
Oh, E-Rock.
How about a heads up, like, Sam, the show's about to begin, and I noticed they're chit-chatting. I don't know if we were going a little late.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning.
Hi, everyone.
We're just having a nice little casual chit-chat.
I was wrapping up the Tom Sizemore situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Friday.
Wow, this is just a horrible way to start a Monday show.
I won't play it on the air, but I was gonna play it for you.
E-Rock, what was going through your head?
Oh, boy.
We had no idea that you were starting the show.
Visions of sugar plums.
Did you notice that?
Starting time, and usually.
All right, it is the normal starting time, but no one had their headphones on. It was obvious we were kind of just chit-chatting, kind of catching up on each other and what went on, and during the weekend or the last time we were on the air together.
Mm-hmm. Well, usually,
and then the rage music
audio on in there, so I didn't know.
Sam, why are you laughing?
Because you guys didn't know the show was already on. We were all just talking.
We're just
slowly
yapping.
and casually, and then you turned up the thing just to see where we were at.
Yeah, I was assuming...
I was expecting to hear, like, the
Ecstasy of Gold or something. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
usually we hear Ecstasy of Gold, and then we start getting our shit together. Like, all right, it's time to focus and, get started here.
We listen to the cable, the news on the TVs, and then you bring it down and just see where the audio is. And if, Ecstasy's not playing yet, we still got a little time.
We got 5 news stations, so what we do is we listen to the audio just to kind of see what these knuckleheads are saying. Right. And then we pop to our feed, and usually it's around the time Ecstasy of Gold's playing. We're like, okay, time to settle in. But this time we're just chit-chatting.
Generally, you just, you kind of... Because E-Rock can hear what we're saying even when the mics are off.
Right, whatever.
And you just go...
Fine, it's just
hey,
fine,
guys,
it's fine.
Show's about to
fine.
start.
E-Rock comment?
No, whatever. He's going to have no comments. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's Monday. A little slow start, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Criminy.
How was Baltimore, Jim Norton?
It's fast becoming one of my favorite clubs.
Ooh.
Magoobies is amazing.
Magoobies. Why is it such a great club?
I don't know. It's just the energy there is great. They run it well. They're on time with everything. It's a great club. Like, I really, really loved my shows there.
Even better than Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory?
Well, no.
Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory?
Stress Factory.
I'll let you know
Vinnie
after
Brand.
Memorial Day. If I draw there, then Vinnie Brand's is better. If not, then Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory is worse.
You missed an action-packed Friday show. My God.
I know, I heard.
All shit was going down on as we started our broadcast.
Oh, I was having a good time doing a very fun fucking bunch of phoners. You know, it's always fun to do when you got to do fucking 7 phoners in a row.
Right.
Promote the special area on Comedy Central.
It's real easy to keep it fresh and spontaneous.
Shit, is that an awkward news morning?
Really?
7 in a row.
Yeah, just where you go on those radio runs and.
We did one of those one time.
It's just
and you realize
weird.
that some people are really excited to talk to you, and then others were forced to talk to you, which makes for a wonderful conversation.
I'm just not.
Remember that, Ant?
Yeah.
We had to talk to all these newspapers, and you had a few that were like, "Oh my God," and then others like, "All right, well, can we get this on? We don't want to waste your time, and we don't want to waste ours." And
yeah,
I'm just not good on the phone.
No?
Bill Burr's great. I told Bill, I texted him, like, I don't know how you're so good on the phone.
Bill is really good. Yeah.
I fucking stink on the phone. I just do. Even calling this show where I'm very comfortable, I'm just not good on the phone. Or in person.
It is very difficult to do a phoner. Feel all good about yourself.
Well, last we left you, all shit was going down in Boston, and we thought we were going to have it all tied up nice before we got off the air Friday. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We were getting there.
Cigar.
We were getting there.
Yeah.
And then the kid ended up in the boat. And then we, what was that, some infrared shit?
Oh, they had some fucking, like, heat fucking...
Yeah, heat-seeking camera shit from a helicopter.
Yeah, it's like fucking...
And they obviously
forward-looking infrared.
And then they hit him with some flash bangs. And now they're saying he tried to kill himself. That's a self-inflicted fucking gunshot wound to the throat.
It's like a dumb fucking thing to do.
Well, was he going like this?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Maybe
the famous gun
under the jaw, and then.
Yeah. Oh, I hope
How did he
shot
survive
his
that?
fucking mouth out.
He shot his throat out, and he can't talk.
Really?
But he's conscious enough where he's writing shit down for the cops now.
Good. Did he really shoot his throat out?
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
Great.
Yeah.
He'll never talk again.
Yeah, it seems
not looking good.
Great.
It's definitely
that's
not looking
great.
good.
Not looking
fucking
good.
Animal. This fucking animal. That's great.
Well, some people are like, he's just a kid. I can't believe, the military and thousands of police officers are chasing just a kid.
Well, Michael Moore said that, actually. Michael Moore said...
A few other people are saying that, too, man.
Michael Moore was like, all this in the city just for a teenage boy? It's like, teenage boy,
he's an asshole.
Has bombs and shit.
Does he understand all the people that are missing limbs today?
I'm sure if it was a right-wing radical, he'd have a different opinion.
And they killed the cop. They were just... And by the way...
Just for a kid, they were throwing explosives out the car. I mean, this was a real-life GTA, as we all kind of referenced.
And his brother was 26, and they're calling him kids. And Ann Coulter pointed this out. And that was McVeigh's age.
Yeah,
Nobody was calling McVeigh a boy. These
child.
boys, this young man.
Yeah, they love that boy-child thing.
I don't think you're a boy anymore after you do what they did. I mean,
you're 19.
You could be 19 or 40. You're the same. You're the same. I don't give a fuck.
That's crazy. Yeah, that boat fucking sequence.
They obviously wanted to get him alive because they had him.
Yeah.
They had him, so they were like, all right, we're going to get this one alive. And then supposedly he, shot his own throat.
Oh,
they
that's great.
Lit that fucking boat
That's what they're
up.
saying. Who knows? We'll find out more as it moves forward.
I hope he maimed himself and he can never eat properly again. Mm-hmm. And he killed his own brother by running over him, I hope.
Ran over
Dude, we had an eyewitness to that on the
really?
on the show Friday. Yeah, a guy was out of his mind, like telling us the story.
Yeah.
Saw the whole thing go down. Basically, this kid, ran his brother over and went right through a roadblock or whatever.
Ran him over.
Police barricade, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because apparently they had gotten the brother. They had fucking captured him, cuffed him, like he was all fucking ready to be arrested. And then here comes the younger brother zipping by. The cops jump out of the way, and he plows over his fucking own brother.
Is that what happened?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's what happened.
It's crazy.
I hope one of the charges is
vehicular manslaughter. Yeah, with his fucking
little
brother.
insult to
They had him cuffed.
injury. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they had him.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. He's the bungler.
Yes.
I love this fucking
He's
bungler.
bungled everything.
He accidentally kills his brother and then fails at killing himself. This kid's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking dummy.
Yeah, they had the brother, and then
dummy.
The 19-year-old wanted to get the fuck away. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it's great.
What a fucked up whole situation. It played out like like an action movie.
Yeah.
It had the beginning, the middle, the end. It really played out like these stories never really play out.
Right.
Like they're supposed to. Like everyone expects them to when things happen, but it never really ends right.
According to Alex Jones, this is exactly how it's supposed to.
Well, it's obviously it's been scripted. It's been scripted. This is a government plot to see how martial law will impact citizens and how willing they'll be to just throw their rights away.
It's great.
And I'm not totally off that yet.
Oh, really?
I kind of there's something disturbing about it. People didn't understand my 140 characters times 800 when I was tweeting trying to explain what I meant by saying I felt uncomfortable. There was something uncomfortable about people cheering the police after this was done. When they had completely locked the city down, they had entered people's houses, and by some accounts from some of these videos, not voluntarily, people didn't volunteer it.
Right.
A huge, not just, Joe Forrester swinging his billy club down the sidewalk, a paramilitary force entered Watertown with full armored personnel vehicles and took over the town. Locked it down, imposed their will on the people, and the people loved it. They loved it.
You know why? Because most people's lives are kind of boring. That's some cool shit to see all of a sudden in your neighborhood.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, it's not cool for the people that were kind of yanked from their homes and stuff.
I don't know what other recourse the cops had. I don't blame the cops because they're trained to do something, and that is what they were trained to do. But I'm not sure I blame anybody. I don't know what the other solution would have been, but there was something weird about this force entering a town,
right,
locking it down,
right,
imposing a microcosm of martial law. Well, and the people loving it.
As long as it doesn't go down every weekend, I'm fine with it. I mean, we're not going to be perfect. If we have one of these every once in a while, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Makes good TV.
I mean, there was a sticky situation in Watertown.
It's a very difficult situation.
Everybody knew why they were doing it, too.
It's a difficult situation.
It's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, but some of the video now coming out, oh my God, impressive. And a lot of the stuff went around over the weekend. My favorite was the picture the guy took from the second window as a automatic was.
I wasn't buying that picture either.
Oh, you thought it was fake?
Yeah, the guy wasn't wearing a helmet. Everyone else had helmets on.
How was that set up? Photoshopped?
I think he could have shot the guy right in the fucking vehicle or shot the entire vehicle right onto the street. I'm not sure.
Really? Because that one's been going around.
It has been going around, but there are a lot of fakes.
Well, show me one fake that's been going around. We thought the picture of suspect number 2 running away from the scene was a fake. And it turns out that was not a fake picture.
That wasn't a fake, right. I don't know. It just something about it seemed like he didn't have his helmet on, which was weird. No one else was paying attention to any other part of that street. Like he's the only guy,
right?
Drawn up on that window, and all the other cops in the area were just kind of. And I know they used MPs, military police, at Fenway at some point,
right?
But I don't know. Were the military police actually involved in the manhunt?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Or was that just the police? Because that was a military police Humvee.
Oh,
that was there. So I don't know.
I think it was real. I'm going to go with real. I don't know.
I don't know either. I just was a little suspect.
I think the pictures were so amazing that you didn't really have to Photoshop everything.
Yeah, it's true.
You had an army just kind of tooling around Watertown for a day and a half.
Amazing.
That's what you needed to do. That's exactly how you get this guy. That's exactly how you keep this piece of shit from slipping out of the country.
Well, yeah.
And slipping away. That's why people didn't get mad, because they knew they're doing what we want them to do. Get this fucking guy. This is how it has to happen.
Well, that's just it. It'll never. When people try to infringe on your Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights, It's never going to be kicking the door in and being like, what happened? It's a nice day. It's always going to be under this guise of emergency. And this, I know Alex Jones is going to get into this, believe me. And there's some validity to it. It's always going to be under the guise that we're helping you, we're protecting you, we're doing something. The doors will never be kicked in on a nice sunny day where nothing's happening, because that's a problem.
Right.
And people won't like it. That's why the cheering was a little disheartening, because people accepted it so willingly, even though it was in the course of an emergency.
Because they were scared shitless.
It.
They were scared shitless in their homes.
But it's always going to be because scared shitless. Now, here's where the Alex Jones conspiracy government orchestrated stuff comes in. The best way to put a government force on top of the people is to present it as they are helping you, protecting you, saving you from something. So if something is in the area like that that is endangering you, you will give up your rights to illegal search and seizure, to cops entering your home, to...
So what's the solution?
I don't know. I
understand everything you're saying, but what's the solution?
People bash me on Twitter, but I've been like, I don't have a fucking solution. I don't know. It just, why isn't...
They knew they had a terrorist cornered in Watertown.
Yeah.
So they had to go all in. They couldn't let that fucking guy get away.
Absolutely. And people wanted him caught.
I mean, and they were obviously carjacking and all that. Took one carjack to get him out of the area, and then who the fuck knows?
Well, I guess the solution is, and it sounds odd and it sounds obviously biased on my part, but an armed populace. That helps, you know.
But there are some people, I'm sure, that had weapons. I'm sure there were some of those homeowners that had guns.
Oh, my God. I bet you there were a lot of people in Watertown with weapons.
With some rifles.
And people sense that, you know, people aren't that dumb. Like, people, I think, sense that this is what we want you to do right now. Even though it's inconvenient and annoying, everyone was in a rage about this fucking animal.
Inconvenient and annoying.
He killed a cop. I mean,
what was the killing of the cop all about? They're really not getting into that yet.
Animals.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe they got spotted. Who knows? Maybe they thought they got spotted.
It's very that part of the whole thing is very shady. Why? Yeah. We understand they're animals and they're capable of doing some things, but what was the problem with the cop?
I don't know. Maybe he was in the way where maybe they wanted to go buy somewhere and he was there.
Right.
You know, who knows?
Did they grab his car?
I don't know. Sure. I'm not really sure either.
I don't think they did either, though.
But I know what Ann's saying, but in this case, I think everybody cheered because everyone knew exactly why it was happening, and it was what they wanted to happen.
I even understand why everyone cheered and stuff. I was just saying, watching it.
It plays into the Alex Jones's hands and conspiracy guys in general, obviously. But go back to 9/11. If we learned that some of those guys were in our city, let's say they were in I don't know, fucking give me the West Village.
It's just a small town, yeah.
You would be all in that they moved in like they did up there in Boston to try to get that fucker.
That's just what. That's my exact point. You'd be all in.
You'd be all in. Well, that's the problem. You're not going to change that mindset.
No.
Unless, like I said, they started doing this every weekend for a guy that, you know, might have been drinking and driving or something. Then you would be like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is.
A lot of people see Boston's already checking in. This was this was a necessary situation.
By any means necessary. Yeah, but you can't pick and choose when your fucking rights are going to be yanked from you. Or I mean, there was some people. I've seen video of some people being forcibly removed.
Yeah, I saw
at gunpoint from their own homes.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off.
Sorry, I got a fucking issue with that.
Yeah,
why were they being removed? Sorry, by gunpoint.
So they could check the house.
Perhaps they didn't want to fucking leave. Perhaps they didn't want to let the cops in.
But
perhaps they were leaving, but they weren't leaving as quickly or in the manner that the cops wanted them to.
But
I have a problem with that.
Were those houses very close to the situation?
It was very close to the situation. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Did they know that it was getting closer, that this kid was within a few houses? Because then at that point I could see where they get a little more aggressive. But it's on the outskirts of the perimeter and they're doing that.
You know?
I mean, I saw the video. I mean, you have a whole family coming out of their own house with their arms up in the air, basically, or their hands behind their heads.
And one guy started putting his hands down, and he got a little rousted.
Right.
You know?
I haven't seen any of that video. Do we catch these in the video?
Oh, God, yeah. They're all over the place, these videos. Well, I know why. All right, hold on. Let's get some Boston people on the line here. Who's this? Brian. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
So the the thing with the MIT cop, he was going to the 7-Eleven. They happened to be in a 7-Eleven that somebody was robbing.
Right.
So he went over there for the disturbance, and as he was pulling up, they thought he was there to get them.
Oh.
So they basically just
Do
shot him.
you guys understand the luck that's involved with this whole fucking thing? They decided to go to a 7-Eleven that was held up not by them.
Yeah,
a lot of people were confused and thought, hold on, that the brothers were holding up the 7-Eleven. No, that's not the case. They happened to go to a 7-Eleven that was held up.
Oh.
More bungling.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
The bunglers did that?
It wasn't being held up at the exact time they were there. It was just before, I think, Brian?
Yeah, I think he
Brilliant.
was just in before it. And then
Because that was misinformation that came out that the brothers were holding up this 7-Eleven for whatever reason. That's not true. And that's the only reason that, they got him on fucking camera there.
I didn't know he shot himself. Wow, I'm so... you don't know how happy that
But anyway,
makes me.
continue, Brian. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, and the other thing, Ant, they did have Humvees rolling all through Watertown. They had the National Guard out. They had 5 or 6 different SWAT teams sweeping the 20 radius.
Yeah, I saw the Humvees going around. I just wasn't sure if the MPs were actually part of it.
Yeah, here's the video.
Yeah, the MPs were on the streets keeping people
Full screen,
out.
please.
And the actual boat was 1 block outside of the 20-block radius that they were searching.
Oh.
This is some 1984 shit right here, man. Coming to get you. Coming into your home. All right, thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
So we're looking at a video. The guy's filming from across the street from the second story.
These are people that are in their fucking own homes.
Now, what happened with this where his hands have to be, for what reason?
I guess the cops would say they don't know who anybody is in any of the houses, so put your hands up and get out. I don't know. Look, I'm not blaming. Don't fucking jump on me. I just have an issue with this.
I'm wondering if people, because they did knock on the door. They didn't break the door down. I'm wondering if technically you didn't have to let them in, but then you would have just had a SWAT team surround. You
don't have to let them in.
So I'm saying maybe that even though it's unpleasant, these guys technically didn't have to leave their homes.
Kenny, you're looking.
I don't know what that
over here. Kenny knows. He's a law enforcement.
Kenny knows a little bit about this stuff. Kenneth?
I'd rather reserve comment. I'm just shocked at your stance on this.
It's not my stance. It's how I don't have a stance. I have a feeling. Why are you okay with people being taken out of their homes?
You ever hear of sheepdogs, and wolves?
Yeah.
Maybe you should read that story.
Enlighten us, Kenny.
You can read it. It's just I got to go get your breakfast and.
No, this is way more important than
I'm really
eggs.
upset about this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't doubt
These
it.
fucking cops risk their lives.
I understand. I'm not bashing the cops. I'm not bashing anything. I'm saying that there's a procedure in place. Not the cop. The officers themselves are some of the bravest motherfuckers ever. I understand that. It's the policy that's in place.
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. I mean, he's not bashing. I know what you mean. It doesn't make me uncomfortable though, because of the motives of why they were doing it. And I think everybody knew why they were doing it. It's very rare there's a collective where everybody kind of gets what's happening at the moment, and where everyone's watching it unfold on TV at the moment, and they all know this guy's here.
Everyone knows he's a terrorist too. That's a big one for us in America.
And there's a public danger of him continuing to do it, and they were right.
And they were right. They found a shitload of stuff. They were going to do more stuff.
The question is, did legally, the law-wise, if this guy didn't want to leave his house, would he have had to? Maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't have gone in after him, but maybe he would have then had a SWAT team surrounding his house.
They were dragging everyone out of that fucking house. Look, you think the way they took that guy out and made everyone raise their hands, and meanwhile this house is like a clown car for the fucking people that keep flying out the door. You honestly think if they just said, no, officers, we don't want you in here, that they're going to just go, okay, and leave? No.
That's just
they are forcibly removing people from their homes under the guise of security. Now, obviously, this was happening. There was someone on the loose that had killed people and had bombs and whatnot.
More than just someone on the loose. You can't
terrorist. You can't just throw away constitutional rights and pick and choose when you do it based on a situation. Sorry.
So how are they supposed to check that house? They were checking every house. I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of families that left their homes in this exact way, by the way. This one just happened to be caught on video. Yeah, this exercise was going on
all over the place.
House after house after house.
Was every person brought out like that with their hands above their head?
I'm sure. Pretty close to this.
There's a presumption of guilt going on here. There's illegal entry in the. I mean, honestly, can anyone see this fucking point?
I see it completely. I do see it. And I completely understand why you're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I'm not, just because it's rare that a situation is happening where everybody is so on, this is exactly...
But it's always going to be a situation.
And would we be having this conversation if the guy got away? If here we are on Monday and we don't know where the fuck this guy is, would we be looking at this video and would you be as pissed off?
Do you understand it's always going to be a situation, like I was saying? It's not going to just be cops coming to someone's door and busting it. There's always going to be a situation. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to be allowed to do this. You know what the bottom line is? You're supposed to be allowed to defend your own home against fucking intruders, whether it be that terrorist. You know, you go to the officer and go, yeah, officer, I'm armed and I've checked my fucking house. There's no one in here. Thank you.
In Nirvana, maybe, but the reality is this shit is going to go down.
You're looking at I know what you're looking at the overall point of view of a militia protecting. Like I know where you're going with it, and I know why you're bothered by it. For you, it's a bigger issue.
It's a bigger issue. Thank you.
But I don't think sometimes bigger issues are what kind of, at times it makes sense, and at times bigger issues is what kills us because. Like slippery slope. Like it's not like this one situation. It's like, well, then what's next? But that's the same thing everybody gets crazy about with language. Well, it's a weird situation. We let this guy say this. The N-word goes. Well, then why not the F-word? People get into this crazy slippery slope stuff. And
what if the kid was in there and he was holding this family hostage?
That might have been part of the reason too.
They didn't know if this kid
held hostage. Right.
This kid was holding people hostage in one of these homes,
or if he was armed. That's a great point. Like what that might have been part of the thing is that he may have been holding somebody hostage.
So you're going to really infringe on everybody's rights in an entire town based on the fact that one house might be held hostage. That goes against everything. The trade-off for liberty for security. That trade-off. We're talking about astounding.
We're talking about terrorists.
I know, but we're talking about...
If this was some drug dealer or something and they were going through an entire neighborhood looking for a fucking drug dealer.
Well,
but unfortunately, we had a situation.
What's the criteria? There's no definition of terrorist. So
I think it was pretty obvious this one was a terrorist, though. We all were on the terrorist bandwagon immediately on this one.
He kills 3 people.
Well, yeah,
and injures a fuckload more. He kills actually 4. A cop.
But you can't downplay the people that were injured. Horrific injuries. Not injuries they're even going to come back from.
I'm just saying.
Missing limbs all over the fucking place.
Let's say you have a shooter that shoots a bunch of people. You know, one of these fucking lunatics, and runs into a neighborhood. Would that be okay to start grabbing people and taking them out of their homes?
This is a situation where it's one of those rare situations where the cops are kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't, because if they don't do this, and let's just say he does slip away. The fucking Boston PD's incompetent, and all the other bodies that pile up if this sleeper cell begins to these motherfuckers, like. You know, then they're in that really bad situation. So
I know.
If they do it, then they're infringing on certain civil. And are there times when the public good is at stake? And I know that the cops will always say that, well, it's for your own good. But are there times where that's legitimate? And has that always been the way it is, where people's liberty has always been, quote unquote, infringed on briefly during crisis situations?
All right, let me go to the phones, because Taylor in Jersey. Go ahead, Taylor.
Who cares what his job is?
Taylor.
We'll get to tinker and soldier and spy later.
What's up, Taylor?
The Fourth Amendment. You know, the courts have routinely held that in times of crisis and when there's an imminent threat to security, there's the exception that the police can go into your home, that when they, have reasonable suspicion that there is imminent danger, they can go in there without a warrant.
Yeah, did this qualify for every home like that?
Well, in that area, I think so. Because they didn't know where the fuck he was.
I think it did.
I don't know.
Given the fact that there were explosives, given the fact that, he could have been anywhere, and the fact that the guy was hiding somewhere, as we found out, without the knowledge of a homeowner, but he could have been in there. He could have been in a basement, and he could have been holding somebody hostage with bombs. Somebody had denied them the right to come in. That probably would have raised even more suspicion.
And all shit went down 16 hours before this. So it took him 16 more hours to find what fucking house he was in eventually, or actually in the boat in the back of the house.
The homeowner is the one that alerted the police. The police didn't find it through the searches.
Right.
The homeowner saw blood on the boat and informed the police.
Did he really? When he was just walking through his own yard and he saw blood?
Yeah, probably.
And he lifted up the
kid
cover.
Was getting in the boat. He was already injured. So he lifted up the cover, put blood on the boat, and the homeowner saw the boat and said, "There's blood on there. Let me call the cops."
Wow.
So none of these searches and the way they were searching got anywhere as far as finding this guy.
They would have got to the boat eventually.
Yeah, had they gotten there?
I'm sure they were checking boats in the backyards as they were going along.
I'm sure they were.
And by the way,
they might have expanded the perimeter, and taken a look at that point. Again, man, I understand the point. I understand the danger with the right, but it's not. This is not something that is outside of what courts have allowed before, in terms of giving cops the right to come in to a home that they believe, when they believe there is a reasonable suspicion of.
Yeah, in a home, I don't think you could classify an entire town full of homes and allow officers to go into every single home. It doesn't fall into that criteria of imminent danger in a home. If you know someone's in a house, let's say, and of course, if a cop sees a car that's been involved in a chase and they pull up to a house and the perpetrator runs into the house, obviously the cops can do that. That's where it falls into that criteria. I don't think you can say, well, there's someone in this town, let's now go in every single home and see if he's in there. It doesn't fall into what you're saying.
Let me ask you a question. This is a crazy example, but let's say that there's a word comes down that there's a small nuclear device.
Right.
Not one that will kill a whole city, but one that would wipe out 10,000 people.
Uh-huh.
And it's being hidden in one of two apartment buildings. Let's just say they find that out there, and they know it's there.
Uh-huh.
And the only way to get it is to go into every apartment. Certain rights are going to get stepped on. The obvious...
Well, that would seem like it would be imminent danger of... Yeah.
That's probably how they're looking at it on a smaller scale.
Wasn't this imminent danger?
Yeah, because they don't know if he has...
They don't know.
They're not bullshitting on this one. Like, when they bullshit and say imminent danger because they want to do something sneaky, I think that's when people get roused and upset.
Well, perhaps we will see that. Perhaps we won't. That's why I'm just discussing this.
Yeah.
I'm not making an argument for what I'm saying. I'm just saying that side of this should be looked at, addressed, and acknowledged that this did happen. And in the future, it might be a circumstance where there's less an element of danger, but still this amount of your rights being infringed upon. And then maybe even less danger. But, hey, we did it before. Let's do it again,
Yeah, but this kid was proved he was willing to do anything. He ran over his own fucking brother in the end. How pissed would you have been if they came to your house? How would you have handled it?
I probably would have allowed them to come in and fucking search. I have nothing to hide or anything, and
no, I'm not talking about like you have something to hide. Just your gut feeling, knowing that this is wrong what they're doing. How would you handle that if they knocked at your door?
It wouldn't be wrong if I allowed them in. Is what I'm saying, right. And I would have allowed them in because it would have been for the good of the community. I understand that, but when you're not given a choice to let them in or not let them in, there's an issue there. There's a fucking issue.
Plus, these guys were ornery at that point. They were under a lot of pressure because a lot of hours went by and they still don't know where the fuck this kid was.
Kenny's probably spitting on my sandwich right now. He's mad at me.
No, but
it's
Kenny,
not the cops. I'm not fucking. I'm not. It's the policy that's in place. It's so high up in the fucking pyramid that it's
here. There's another guy.
Cops are doing their job.
You're saying the state. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's say hi to Jim in Arizona. Jim.
Hey,
Ant, I just want to tell you there's an exclusion to the Fourth Amendment when there's a hot pursuit. And once they set up a perimeter like that, there's no Fourth Amendment violation when they're in hot pursuit, and they can't search the homes.
Well, I would really be hard-pressed to think that you can cordon off a town based on a pursuit. I think that doesn't fall into the safety area of the exception. You know what I mean? I understand. I know. Hot pursuit. I've seen it. And again, if the car pulls up to a house or an apartment building and the guy runs in, it gives them a certain latitude with that. I don't think this fell into that technically. I don't know. I'm just saying, why can't people understand?
I think people do.
There's something weird here.
I think people. I totally understand it.
Yeah?
Yes. I'm not. I know exactly, and I know for you it's a Second Amendment thing, and you're deep down, deep underneath it all. Your whole thing is if we're armed, we protect our own homes, and we don't need the fucking state walking in and telling me to get out of my house. I got a fucking gun.
I don't understand the armed. It's not always the armed part.
No, but I mean that's.
But I understand the part. It's a constitutional issue.
You gotta just start the revolution, man. What are you waiting for?
We look up the Fourth Amendment.
I'm too tired to start a revolution. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Jim, you got anything else?
No.
Oh, Jimmy.
Arizona Jim. All right.
I just don't have a problem with it, or I'm not bothered even by those images because of why they were doing it, and I think everybody knew why they were doing it. And I think if there was that wink, like, well, they don't really have to do it, people would be reacting the way you are.
There'll always be a why they're doing it, though. But that's my other point.
When was the last time we even did this?
Yeah.
To this extent. I mean, if this becomes commonplace, I completely see your point.
But that's just it. The entire government right now is getting very fucking nosy into everyone's business.
Right.
And the power base of the government is creeping in to our lives right now.
They started creeping in 1776.
Yeah. Well, we're up to it.
This isn't anything new. They've been creeping ever since then.
Well,
it's just becoming more and more noticeable.
After 9/11,
they had good intentions, liberties. But they got it into our shit immediately.
I don't know. A lot of weird.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse as we go along.
Yeah.
So what do we do? What do we do?
I don't know. I strongly believe in,
how are we going to push back?
Our rights.
Because they're going to continue creeping into our lives. So the question is, how do we push back? How do we do it?
I don't know. What I do know though is everyone says, hey, there's, this was a good reason, stuff. There'll always be a reason. But please believe me, there'll always be a reason.
But not always one that everybody understands. Meaning, like, there's not always going to be a reason that everyone reasonable looks at and says, yes, I do get why this is happening. And this people, if this was happening for some bullshit reason, I think a lot of people would go, this is fucking bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
But immediately after, they left, and the motives
and the party started.
And they were doing what we wanted them to do.
But
you're a buzzkill, man. No, there was a nice party in Watertown Friday night.
They were happy.
People came out of their homes. They're cheering.
I see it the same thing as our taxes. They go up so slowly. And over time that we just accepted it.
Sure.
But if they put tax rates like they have on us now, when they first enacted taxes, there would have been a revolution.
Yeah, of course.
So it starts like that. Everything starts like that. So if this is a jump off point, of course we wanted it. Of course we wanted the cops to search houses because it was very dangerous. Of course they're not going to do this for some small little thing now. But if people don't look at right now what's going on, down the road, it might get to a point where, oh, here's someone fucking, selling a little fucking weed on the corner. Cordon off the entire corner, search every fucking house.
But no reasonable person
would pay 50% taxes back in 1930. Right?
That's true, too, yeah. That's
exactly.
All right, so what's the answer?
We got to keep an eye on fucking shit and acknowledge when things happen that make us uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying right now. But I don't know what the solution is.
If something like that happened where it was, I think everyone can agree that this was an imminent danger, or most people can agree.
Sure.
That's why the community,
Yes.
but most people, even reasonable people, wouldn't agree if it was one guy on the loose with just a gun. I don't think, or an armed robber on the loose, or a drug deal. I just don't think most people would agree that that was an imminent danger for the entire community.
Right now, you're right.
But even look what happened with the Japanese in World War II.
Yeah.
They're rounded up and put into prison, and that was a bad thing. It was a terrible thing. But it didn't begin rolling where all of a sudden groups of people were just being gathered up and put into camps. It didn't happen like that. And that, if any place would have been a jumping off place, it would have been that. And it didn't.
No, but if you look, and believe me, I love the fact that we have Guantanamo, and I'm all for torture. But you could look at it that way and say, well, you know, we were in World War II at the time, pretty big fucking war.
Sure.
We haven't really had any situations like that since then, where there is a large population in this country that needs to be sequestered.
Muslims.
Exactly. So now you look at that. And yes, we have taken some and put them into Guantanamo without any due process to see what will happen. Now, these aren't American citizens for the most part. I think there are maybe a couple from overseas. Are there? I'll have to check on that. But it just, believe me, if something, a huge national crisis happened like World War II, we'd start gathering people up.
I don't know about that. I think that we are. Yeah, man. I think now people are. It's amazing how dumb we've gotten. We don't do stuff like that anymore. We not that we should round people up, but we literally fucking just bend over and wait to get fucked again. I think that we've gotten stupid with how fucking overly. Boston's not a polite city.
No, they didn't.
That's why I love them for it.
Yeah, they didn't fuck around, man.
No.
I think Bloomberg would have handled it differently.
Of course he would have. Of course he would have.
Those guys in Boston don't play. They're like, fuck this. We got a situation, and we're going in, and we're getting this motherfucker.
They did what needed to be done in a bad situation, and they got these fucking animals. Bloomberg would not have done it.
Even Mayor Menino, they asked how, I think how the kids, I'm calling him the kid because I can't pronounce his name just like anyone else, suspect number 2. And Mayor Menino was quoted saying, who cares? How great is he? Who cares? If you can find that clip, it's great.
What was he asking him about?
How the suspect number 2's doing.
Oh, who cares?
And he goes, who cares?
Good.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like a sitcom. They're both in the same hospital room sharing.
Right.
Like the bed, Menino in one, him in the other. Curtain doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm kind of really all in with what Boston did.
The U.S.
those motherfuckers did a great job up there in the end.
We've gotten dumb. Yeah. Like look what happened with these guys on 9/11. Where if information was just shared properly, like we've gotten so worried about being polite or so worried about that shit that we've become stupid. Like, we've allowed fucking people that we kind of know are a problem to continue to operate. Because, you know, so it's like, it's not like the U.S. has become this fucking tyrannical state at all. At all. I mean, if anything, we've gotten dumber as time has gone. And there's times where I wish they would do shit like that more, because there's people I genuinely want fucking rounded up and shot.
We got to see something that is very, very rare up there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if this shit starts going down, you know, on a more regular basis, then, man, do you have a point. But we saw something extremely rare. For now. I don't remember in my lifetime ever seeing anything like that. It was unbelievable.
Right.
And it was all broadcast. Everyone was fucking uploading videos all over the place. Which brings me to my next point. The brothers, how stupid are they that they assume that they could, like, go unnoticed?
By the finish line. For fuck's sake, do it at mile 8. The finish line,
I think
these
we're
idiots.
all aware as soon as you leave the house, you're on, I mean, we've said it over the years. You're on camera pretty much the entire time you're out of your house now.
Yeah.
But they really thought they could place these bombs, have the kind of disguises on, and get out of there.
Yeah.
Without anyone having video or pictures of them in a way where it was obvious it was them.
Yeah,
that amazes me, because I truly believe they really thought that. The one kid who's in the hospital, he went back to college.
Yeah.
Supposedly he went to a party.
Went to a party.
Yeah.
And he went to the weight room. He was working out.
And he's fucking saying to people, they're like, "Hey, you seeing this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I guess tragedies happen all the time."
Right.
This fucking these cocksuckers were operating like they were operating according to the way the U.S. normally handles shit lately. Like, where they could get away with doing something like that, and the overly politeness would be like, well, we don't want to say anything offensive, or we don't want to step on any toes. And they didn't realize what city they were in, and they didn't realize that Boston cops are going to fucking step on your toes hard, and they are going to do they did what was necessary, and it was unpleasant looking.
New York City's in between two really tough fucking cities. Boston doesn't play, and Philly doesn't fucking play when it comes to this shit. They don't fucking play at all.
No, and New York cops don't. But the problem is, and then again, when Giuliani was in charge, they would have handled it like
I'm
this,
not smashing New York cops. It's like their hands seem to be tied at times.
Yeah.
NYPD, though.
Trust me, if you gave the New York cops, the ability, they'd be all in with this shit as well.
You know what's fucked up? NYPD are tourist attractions.
Right.
You go into Times Square and stuff, and people, all the rubes from around the country want their pictures with the NYPD guys.
Sure. Well, there's no show called Boston Blue.
No.
That's why.
Boston Blue.
This kid and his brother really thought they would, kind of sneak away and get some other shit done.
They didn't leave town. How do you not realize you're on video,
I know, right?
you dumb fucks?
Yeah, they stayed there. What the fuck?
They were, I mean, the fact that 3 people were killed is awful, and they did a lot of bodily damage.
4 with the comp.
But I mean with the bombs themselves. Yeah. But in that crowded situation, thank God these guys were bunglers, because literally, if somebody really was good at what they were doing, you could have had 200 people killed.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
And they had more shit. They were going somewhere else. I would love to know if that's going to come out.
Just where they
were going to do something on Friday, I guess, Thursday or Friday. They were prepared to do something else.
I think there was an imminent danger here to the community, because I think, again, and plus, don't forget, Aunt, by the time they were searching house to house, they had found bombs in the car. So there was a lot of things. There was a lot of things that were fucking making this an imminent danger case, as opposed to them just saying the guy's selling weed. I think that this one was very easily sold because it was real.
Let's go to Nathan.
I'm not hungry.
He wants to deal with semantics here.
Okay.
Nathan, go ahead.
Go ahead, Nate.
All right, listen, these guys, they're not terrorists. They're traitors. All right, they're Americans.
They're not Americans.
They attacked Americans for being American. They're traitors.
Are they really Americans, though?
They were officially Americans, sure.
Wait, were they Americans or just allowed to be here?
I believe they were Americans officially.
They were citizens? Oh, they were citizens? Okay.
So technically they're traitors, not terrorists?
Right, they attacked Americans.
Wouldn't they be homegrown terrorists then? They're terrorists.
Americans.
There isn't a real criteria for terrorists.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
It's subjective.
I guess technically they're traitors.
You know, a bank robber is someone that goes in and robs a bank. You know, you kind of got that set. A terrorist is like, it's this vague, Iraqish vagary that, it could cover a lot of areas.
It depends on where you're standing. Like, I was watching something on these freedom fighters, and Carlin had a brilliant bit about freedom fighters. And it's like,
for freedom.
Shut up.
All right, thank you, Nathan.
All right,
thank you.
Christ.
Thank you, Nathan.
The point I'm making is it depends on where you're standing. Like, some people look at Al-Qaeda as fucking heroes who are fighting this despicable U.S., and we see them as terrorists, whereas there's certain people we see as freedom fighters fighting an oppressive government, but it really does all depend on where you're standing. Terrorism is a vague thing.
The same people in Afghanistan that were fighting, the Mujahideen, that were fighting the Russians, were freedom fighters. We called them freedom fighters when the Russians were there. And then, when they became fucking Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, then we call them terrorists.
Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Just add a few years and a few things. I mean, that's fine, because we did the same thing with the Japanese. They were despicable fucking enemies that were to be killed and spit on, and now they're one of our closest allies. You just add a little time.
We got a lot of phone calls. Eric says Jimmy should be more concerned. There are a lot of problems with these searches.
Well, Eric, is Eric on?
Yeah, hold on. Dave in Jersey, it's about trust, the government coming in and doing something inside your house. Jay in Cleveland, I got a problem with Anthony's view. This guy, Adam in Los Angeles, I agree with Anthony. Do we have proof if the people decline the officer's entry? I want to back up Anthony. I agree with Anthony. Do we have proof if the people decline the officer's entry? What point do you draw the line? they could have used thermal imaging on the houses. Just some of the many phone calls.
I want to talk to Eric, because if he's disagreeing with me, let's hear what he has to say. And by the way, if you did thermal imaging, then people would say, well, you're using the technology to look into our... There's no winning.
Eric, go ahead, sir.
You can't usually do thermal imaging to fucking roofs.
2 points here. First off, Jimmy, you're saying that you don't have a problem with this, but let me give you a hypothetical situation. It's your house. You're sitting there. You know, you like to watch porn.
Yep.
Let's say you're sitting there watching kiddie porn. Just hypothetical.
Jeez, right.
I know. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, you're sitting there watching kiddie porn. You're completely below the radar, and you're not uploading it. You're just watching it. The cops come by, knock on the door, drag you out. They go through and search the house. Now, if you remember on Friday, you weren't there, but when the boys were talking about this and they're listening to the scanner and the cops are giving all these codes and police lingo over the radio and nobody knows what it is. So let's say they come through, they drag you out, and you say, oh, go ahead, search my house. There's nothing to worry about. They go through and they see kiddie porn on your computer. Now, they're not going to worry about it right then and there. But let's say one of those officers sees that, he gives a code for it over the air.
Right.
They document it. 3 weeks from now, they come back and they knock on your door.
All right, Eric.
And by the way,
hold on, Eric. Let me talk with you. I understand where you're going with this, and I know that there's always going to be hypotheticals. First of all, I still think in that case, the dominating or important factor should be the public good and the public safety under which they're... Because I do believe their intentions was that they thought there was an imminent danger. I don't believe they were lying about that. I believe that they were being very genuine about that. So I think the imminent danger to the public is more important in that moment than the right of a person who is absolutely committing a crime. And watching kiddie porn, by the way, is a crime. Uploading it, downloading it, you are committing a crime.
Yeah, and I hated your fucking example,
so
by the way.
I know what you mean, though.
It's terrible. It's a horrendous example.
Say you were doing coke off the table.
Really? You could have fucking made it a little easier to fucking digest.
Yeah, there's a pile of coke on the fucking table. Yeah.
Sounds like someone might be into kiddie porn.
But I know what you mean. But you're taking a crazy example. So do you think...
That's the closest example I can come up with.
Okay, so think of doing cocaine. Something that doesn't really offend the entire fucking civilized world.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes it really tough to even listen to your point.
So say someone's doing cocaine, and you're saying then they notice there's some coke on the mirror, or they see that you're doing coke, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That is
the quickest thing I came up with.
Okay, fair enough. So that's something that you have to examine. Do you think in that moment that the imminent danger is more important, or the right for that person to privately commit the crime is more important? And believe me, I'm not giving up my fucking rights for security.
It's the right is the most important thing.
The right of the person to be safe and secure in their home without infringement by the cops is more.
And technically, they're not supposed to be allowed to do anything if they see anything illegal happen in the house. But you goddamn know they're going to write a little note down in their pad and go, well, this house on Maple Street here, let's, revisit this.
Maybe not. I mean...
I bet they would.
Can I bring up one other thing?
Then maybe, when you get back into your home, you should clean up your laundry a little bit.
Your coke and your kiddie porn.
Because maybe they are coming back.
But I'm saying operating under imminent danger, not operating under them just walking in. Because, again, like you say, if someone's they're in hot pursuit and they know that the suspect ran into one of 2 houses and he's armed, they do have the right in hot pursuit. So this was considered a hot pursuit area. That, to me, is the difference. This is not just them sectioning off.
I don't think you could cordon off an entire town for a pursuit. I think that oversteps the boundary. I'm not sure. I don't know what the solution is.
I disagree that it oversteps the boundary.
I got to add,
in this case,
I got to add one important point here, because a lot of people are calling from all over the country, right? But if you're in Watertown, I would love to hear from the homeowners of Watertown. Were they okay with this, knowing that there was a terrorist in their fucking town?
I'm sure they were okay with it.
Right, because if there's a terrorist in my fucking building, I don't give a fuck who comes through my apartment to make sure he's not in my apartment.
That's one of my
I don't give a fuck at that point.
That's one of my biggest points.
But when you look from a distance like you are, is it different?
From a
I would love to know what the Watertown people are saying, because that's important to the story here. It's kind of like your thought on guns. Like all these people that are against guns, the first thing they wish they had if someone was in their fucking house was a gun, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if this was happening in your building or your neighborhood, would you be okay with this? It's easy to say no if you're not part of the situation.
And I love these guys on Twitter. ELJD
Do you?
says, "Hey Anthony, says Jim is so used to handing himself over to a higher power, he cannot realize how dangerous last Friday was to freedom." Hey, cunt! I believe me when I tell you, I get the point.
Yeah,
it's not lost on me. Jay, what did I mean by that? I don't get it. The government's good. I get it, cocksucker. I fucking process it. I comprehend it. I don't agree that it was a threat to freedom. You're not fucking seeing something I don't. Hey, Jay, good. You mean, what do you mean they're good? They're good people. They want to hurt me. I really do get the point, and I've weighed it, which is why, you dumb fuck, I'm saying things like imminent danger, and I do believe that it qualifies as part of the pursuit, and I get why they did it. I'm not lost on that. If it was for something else, I would have a major issue with it, but I don't for that reason. So I guess every time they fucking send somebody in, if you want to break down and go down the slippery slope argument, you know what? No more profiling in mosques, because people do complain about that, and that is somehow a fucking. And I understand the difference. Jim doesn't get the difference between the mosques and the people coming into the house. Yeah, genius. I get it. I got it.
You do?
But I just.
You're learning that someone might disagree with you on Twitter. I think you're learning that today.
It's not the disagreement. It's the fucking arrogance of some cocksucker like
just
this.
Assuming way too much.
Thinking I don't get it.
Right.
Like, I don't see what a big threat it is. Gee, thanks a lot, pal. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me?
It's a sheep.
Meanwhile, all I do is criticize language policing and infringement on thought. My fucking whole existence is critiquing and attacking infringement on thought. But yet I'm happy if they walk into my house. Come on in, boys. Take a look around. I love paying taxes. I never complain.
And I want to add, I completely understand what Ant's trying to say here today.
I do.
Of course. And it should be discussed, but I completely disagree, and I'm completely okay with what they did up there in Boston under this particular situation.
The discussion was the most important part about this, and that's what I was saying on Twitter also, is just to discuss it, to get all the points of view on this and talk about it, because if you just get the one side, it seems a little odd.
All right, let's go to Jay in
That's
Cleveland.
all.
Jay, go ahead, Jay.
No, you could call me Ray.
Let's not waste too much more time on this, because we got to get to Neil Diamond fucking up his own song. I'm not in the camp of, oh, what a great moment. I'm in the camp of, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He doesn't even know his own song.
He sucked.
But anyway, go ahead, Jay in Cleveland.
Hey, Ann, I agree with you on this point, but it goes back on things you said about stop and frisk. That's the whole thing, like me being a black guy. I don't want to be just stopped by a cop walking down the street and having my rights infringed on me just because.
Well, I've always said.
Oh boy, that's got to agree with a black guy today.
Legally and constitutionally, I've always had a problem with stop and frisk on a legal thing. I've kind of looked the other way and thought like, well,
it's for the public good.
It's like, it gets fucking, But I've always legally thought there was an issue there. Yeah. You know, I'm not Mr. fucking Constitution. There are certain aspects where I'm like, good, take him down, pummel his fucking face. But that's what we're doing with it. We're fucking bringing shit up.
The people who like, and I'm not annoyed at Ant. I'm not annoyed at you. My annoyance was at that guy on Twitter thinking I didn't get what he was. I fucking get it, you dummy.
Of course.
And I believe me, I'm bright enough to comprehend the point. I just disagree with it. I'm seeing it differently. Well, and in this case, I buy the explanation of the government.
There's a lot of people that listen to our show with half an ear and then assume a lot. It happens all the
half
fucking
a brain.
time. It amazes me on a daily basis. All right. Oh, do you have the Mayor Menino clip that we referenced before we go to break? We got a Boston bomber family speaking out. The dad of the brothers. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got some audio from him. We got a great clip from North Dakota. That news anchor. This thing will be.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This will be so fucking viral.
Love that one.
All right,
and
NS,
other things, but
NS to you, you're blocked because you're a fucking cunt.
Why? What happened? I've never blocked a person on Twitter.
And this is again what I, not that I hate Twitter, I love Twitter. What I hate about people on it.
Yeah.
What if the government decided Muslim jokes posed a danger to us and suspended the First Amendment? So this is the type of this is girlfriend type of shit, you dumb motherfucker. Like, you're playing semantics games.
Yeah.
You're just trying to be the lawyer. In this case, are you really telling me, you dummy, that you don't understand the difference between a Muslim joke where the government trying to say that this speech poses a danger and a guy where they found bombs in his truck? Everything in the world is not a cunting, slippery slope. Sometimes a cigar is just a fucking cigar.
That you put in your ass.
Absolutely. And hopefully it's black with 2 balls on it.
Right.
But do you understand? Like, if you find me an example where you can tie in your dumb fucking example with 2 guys who just killed a cop, bombed the marathon, had bombs in the truck, and were shooting it out with the police, you find me the example that poses the imminent danger in language. Or otherwise, you're you're just playing semantics.
Dutch cartoonist.
Yeah. There you go. But that kind of goes with search every house and fucking, because he ain't the problem.
Let's say hi to Scott in Boston. Scott has a lot here. Go ahead, Scott.
Do we know how the MBTA...
Hey, guys. All right. I just wanted to start. Sean Collier, the officer that was murdered in MIT, was a good friend of mine and co-worker. We were partners for a number of years.
Jesus.
Don't want to let him be pushed back by these bombers. He's the hero here, not them. So start with that.
Sorry to hear, by the way, about your friend there. It's horrible.
Thanks, guys. It is. But you know what?
Wait. I got to slow you down a little bit. Why was he murdered? Like, what are they saying so far?
That's the thing. He was there for a disturbance call. So it wasn't even a robbery, that, as far as they're saying. And as far as I'm getting from, my friends and stuff like that, he was there for a disturbance call. He pulled up. He was checking his radio. He didn't even get out of his cruiser. He wasn't.
So the brothers were there, and they probably got completely paranoid, like, oh, fuck, they're on to us, and here, we got to take out the cop if we're going to get away.
Exactly.
Even though the cop wasn't there for them. That's the weird fucking thing here.
Yeah, that's the weirdest, the whole fucking...
I'm starting to get it a little bit.
Thing.
Right, okay.
And, so, because of him showing up, I mean, these kids, he basically blew up their spot. I mean, God only knows what the hell they were going to go to that night, because they had all their equipment with them.
Right.
They had another one of those bombs that they set off at the marathon with them.
The pressure cooker bomb, yeah.
So what the fuck were they going to do? That's the main.
They were going to do something.
Of course, and that's why, dude. That's why this argument is so crazy. Like, and again, not Ant's point, but the way people act like nobody gets it. It's like it's rare that you have these sets of circumstances.
Yeah, it's out of this world of exactly what.
No, it was on Earth.
And then
hold on, Chip Cumia.
Good job, cocksucker.
All right. All right. What else you got, Scott?
But in the search after Watertown, I'm originally from Watertown, and a couple of my friends lived in the area, and one of my friends, he's a lawyer, and they came to his house to search, and he was more than happy with his wife and his 2 daughters to let them in. And you know what? They're not looking for anything, and they were apologetic the whole time.
Fine.
Nothing but gentlemen. And the other thing is they're in there looking for these guys. This guy. But the officers that are doing the searching, they're not from Watertown. They're not cops from anywhere around there that are going to remember. Plus, you got to remember, these guys are searching like 100 houses in one neighborhood. They're not coming back to find a fucking joint or a line of blow.
Most likely not.
And fucks about it.
Unless it was some crazy over-the-top thing they just happened to discover, maybe. But
no. And another thing is there's a video that some kid took out on his porch during the original shooting in Watertown there, where responding officers were running to the scene, and one of the cops stopped and saw the kid and asked him, "Hey, do you have any rifles in the house?" And the funniest thing is you think about all this Second Amendment bullshit that's going on, but then me as a cop, I think, hey, remember in L.A. when those two guys robbed the bank and they were fucking outgunned and outnumbered on the street, and they went to a fucking gun shop, and the gun shop had more AR-15s and M16s than the cops had, and that guy armed about, I think, 10 officers at the time. So this guy was just grasping at straws because he figures, hey, hopefully somebody might have a gun that can help us.
And is there also something as a cop where if you're allowed to commandeer a vehicle in extenuating circumstances? Is that right? Aren't you allowed to take somebody's car? Or did I say it right? If there's a chase,
we've heard that over the years. Is it true?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get used very much. I mean, you could.
You're supposed to stand in the middle of the street and you hold your badge straight out and go, "Stop!
Yeah, I mean,
give me your car!" And then you jump in.
I've been in law enforcement for 10+ years, and I've never done that. And I don't know anybody that has.
Yeah, it's rarely used, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
But but TV shows use it all the time.
But when that happens, all of a sudden the government doesn't just take all our cars.
Yeah.
TV shows also use the Miranda warning every time they arrest somebody, too. Which you really don't have to until, you get them to the court, to the prison, to the police station.
So, and by the way, there is the exception where they don't have to Mirandize this guy, I think, because he, again, is a danger. But there's people who are questioning that. So in the line of that, should we not let him, let him just lawyer up in this situation where we know there's something else right behind this? Like, should we be such constitutional purists that we say, okay, that's the Constitution, lawyer up, and then allow more people to get killed? Like, one senator said, or whatever it was after 9/11, the Constitution is not a suicide pact. Like, it's intended to help the people and to strengthen the people. I don't think it's intended to be used by people who are genuinely criminals to protect themselves or to continue committing crimes. So what's the balance we have?
I don't think so. I mean, their main thing with that is they want to find out what else was going on at the time. They wanted to find out. I think they're using that as their, are there other bombs? What were you doing that night? Who's in danger? Do you have other people out there that are gonna continue on?
Right.
I mean, there's more and more information coming out every day.
I'm trying to find it out here, but lost his friend. It makes
Thank
it tough.
you, Scott.
Scott, thank you so much, sir.
No problem, guys. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Keep John Collier's memory alive, please.
You just did.
Thanks, Scott.
You, man.
Thanks, guys.
Would have been a truck driver if he wasn't.
I wonder how many people would throw all their constitutional rights out the fucking window if this shit was happening in their neighborhood. That's the question I have.
Yeah.
It's easy to fucking get all pissed off and concerned about what they did in Boston, but how would you handle it in your neighborhood is the big question today.
The first thing...
would you be like, thank fucking God you're here, or would you be like, get the fuck out of my house?
I think the first thing you got to do before you give your rights away is even know you have them.
Right.
A lot of people just... a lot of people are very willing in this day and age to just, well, whatever, they do, just put trust in the government and what they do and kind of throw away some of your rights. And
all right, we got to take a break. Good luck eating that sandwich that Kenny just got you.
I know, right? Oh my God. I think Kenny's mad at me. Well, I don't know. I'm like Troy Kwan. I'm just asking questions.
He's just asking questions, Kenny. He's just asking questions.
I'm like Troy Kwan. Just asking questions.
Look, you're entitled to your opinion. I just didn't realize you were a sovereign citizen.
What?
What's a sovereign citizen mean? What's a sovereign citizen?
Well, they don't recognize the government and laws. They just do what they think they should do.
I do acknowledge the laws.
Let me
the
ask
laws
something.
of the Constitution.
Have you ever risked your life for a stranger?
No.
Okay. Enough said.
I think I could have...
He's not even nice to his friends.
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ant's being that unreasonable either and saying, fuck this. I think it's about state power. It's just a question. I don't think it's a crazy question.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Those cops are heroes, and they did what they needed to do.
Absolutely.
All right? Yes. And all those crybabies, they can cry all they want, but it had to be done. And it was done reasonably. They don't have to be right. They have to be reasonable. That's the bottom line.
Well, what is the law about it? Like, what law do they... Is it an imminent danger thing?
Look... In the heat of the moment, you got to do what a cop tells you to do. If the cop ends up being wrong, that's what there's courts for.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Me and Kenny were good friends for a while. I don't know what happened. Now I'm a commie.
But you kind of dressed like one, so
you're
no surprise.
No.
But your issue's not with the cops.
No.
All right.
And my issue isn't even with anything. I'm just bringing up a subject.
The disturbing thing is seeing footage here that we normally see in other countries. Like, that bomb scene was something you normally see in Europe or in Libya or Syria, like a bunch of people in a marketplace. We're not used to seeing that here.
Well, that's what I said earlier. It just continues to creep into our lives because we never saw anyone with an automatic weapon on the streets before 9/11. Remember that? Remember the first time you saw someone guarding an airport or a subway station with automatic weapons? You're like, what the fuck? This is what you see in other countries.
Yeah, it's like an Israeli
and now we're kind of used to it.
If it's any consolation, I really would have loved if they just lobbed grenades into that boat and fucking, vaporized them. That would have been nice.
Too little, too late.
And maybe the curb, bite the curb, and then you stomp on the back of his head.
Too little, too late. He's not even looking at you.
Because on a personal level, I just, fucking chop him up. I don't care.
Well,
I hate that guy. Fuck him.
Apparently not.
Too late.
But
apparently the cops are the criminals.
Too late.
Apparently the cops. I didn't say that.
Apparently the tyranny of the state over fucking,
Oh, my God.
We really have to break. We have lots more to cover as far as the Boston
And then we could tell you all how to file
situation
lawsuits
goes.
against all the police who damaged your lives up there. So... This young freedom fighter, I hope he's okay.
We got so much to cover. Stay there.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
Is this Believe It or Not?
I've been walking these streets
No,
so
but that would have
long.
been great.
Huh?
That would have been great.
Singing the same old song.
Oh, yeah, we got Neil Diamond, sure.
I know every crack. This is,
It's not Neil Diamond.
this is,
No, this is Neil Diamond, I know. No, it is. I'm telling you.
Glenn Campbell. Hustle's the name of the game. Yeah. Washed away like the snow and the rain. Defeat a load of compromising on the road to my horizon. But I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, everybody, like a rhinestone cowboy. What?
Why the Glenn Campbell today?
Yeah.
His birthday. It's his birthday.
How old is he? And don't ask him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We haven't heard from him in a while since he announced the Alzheimer's. 76 today, huh?
Is he?
Jack Nicholson was the one, though. That's the big get. 75 today.
Oh.
Jack Nicholson is 75 years old.
Anyone do a good Jack Nicholson impression, Jim?
Sometimes we come here on the Opie and Anthony radio show. Here's Opie and Anthony.
That's right on the money.
I love it. We got to play the Mayor Menino clip, please. We tease that. So it's quick. This is Mayor Menino, who I think has done a pretty good job up there in Boston, considering he's in a wheelchair and has all sorts of medical issues at this point.
Goddamn wreck.
But he had this to say.
MBTA transit officer is doing today? Is there improvement for him?
He's showing some improvement. He is, and that's encouraging to us that he's showing improvement.
And what about the suspect who's still in the hospital?
Who cares?
Bravo.
Good for him.
Who cares?
Good, honest
Bravo.
language. Good for
Bravo.
him.
Who cares?
Good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They're not a pussy city worried about being polite. Good for
Yeah.
Boston.
Nope. And then we move on to Dave Ortiz.
Yes.
So they're having a big fucking...
Big Poppy. Big Poppy.
Of course, Big Poppy.
Poppy!
And he decided to talk to the people at Fenway.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he had to say. Everyone's talking about this today as well.
All right, Boston. This jersey that we wear today, it doesn't say Red Sox. It say Boston. We want to thank you, Mayor Menino, Governor Patrick, the whole police department for the great job that they did this past week. This is our fucking city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stand strong. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Poppy's a little sloppy.
That's awesome. It's too bad that's... Huh?
He retired?
No.
He decided to welcome back Big Poppy. What, is he not playing with them anymore, or is he?
What happened? He was hurt.
Oh, I thought maybe he was retired. I didn't know it. I was like, fucking, like, oh, boy.
Yeah. For a second, I didn't know the answer to
He's
that.
very injured.
Oh, okay.
It's too bad that's the best version of that. Because
Yeah.
no, I'm not blaming you, Sam. Trust me, because I tried to find a good version of it over the weekend, and I just couldn't fucking find one. That was it.
Yeah.
You'd think there would have been a better version of that out there because everyone's talking about it. And then the stupid fucking FCC had a tweet that they're okay that he cursed on live TV.
Like, yeah, we'll give him a pass.
And I go, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you to the
better
FCC.
than trying to fine him.
But they had a tweet. We're okay with this. Are you?
Because they probably
Are you
didn't want
okay
the
with this?
influx of letters.
Go fuck yourself. And then to the rest of the media, then they're playing this big moment that happened at Fenway, right?
Yeah.
And of course they're beeping out the whole reason why you're playing it.
Well, yeah.
But you see the carnage they showed us on TV for the last week, but they're beeping out curses?
We've learned over the
If
years.
I was the
that-
news boss, I would have just said, you know what? Fuck it. Play him saying fuck.
Yeah.
Or a fucking.
Over the years, we've learned that violence is fine. Cursing and titties, whoa.
And
that could fuck people up.
And who are we protecting? The children?
It's the children.
And I finally got an angle on this because I'm a father. What was more concerning is every time they showed the footage of the bombs going off,
yeah.
As a parent, me and my wife are looking at each other like, all right, we got to fucking turn this off again, right? But as far as cursing, I don't even think twice about it. I don't care if my son hears the word fuck.
Exactly.
They're so out of touch. You see the bloody sidewalks and the bombs and the carnage, and
that's the scary stuff.
That's all the scary shit.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm for all of it. Trust me, I really am. But as far as what's bothersome to my own kid, it's not language. God, no, it's not. Not in the least.
He's going to be a little potty mouth.
Well, I hope so.
I hope so. He's going to be
because I think it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll just teach him when to use the potty language, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't care if he uses potty language.
Yeah, do some parenting. Tell him when to use the curses.
Of course. Of course. But the FCC had a tweet. We're okay with this. Oh, thank you. Thank God you're okay with it.
We have their permission.
Go fuck yourself.
To not be offended.
Ugh. So we had that. And then Neil Diamond. Boston had what could have been an amazing moment.
Sorry, somebody Twittered, just tell the cops, you're in my fucking house.
Yes.
Boston could have had an amazing moment. Neil Diamond decided, you know what? I got to be there. So he took a red eye. They had to say it was a red eye from California, and he made it to the game to sing, Sweet Caroline, which is the big song they play at every fucking game up there. And Why do they have him singing over his own song?
Yeah, that's the
Why
weirdest
didn't they just
thing.
get a stupid karaoke version and say, it's your song, you wrote it, so here.
Get a track without the vocals. Give him a fucking earphone so he's hearing the track as it's being played, not kicked back through the PA at him so he's 2 seconds off of the song.
Was it last minute maybe? They threw it together. Maybe he was just supposed to be there and wave, and then they're like, why don't you sing? And he went, all right. It might have been last minute.
But, I mean,
Jesus.
Maybe the police broke into his house and stepped on his karaoke machine.
They confiscated it.
They thought it was a big bomb, and they took it. The tyranny of the state.
But when you talk on a baseball field, your voice comes back to you 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
And it really fucks you up bad.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a monitor right there, he's fucked.
And some saying he was drunk. I don't think it was that at all. He was disoriented because it was coming back at him.
Yeah, there's no way to sing along with a track that is being played through speakers that are far away.
Sure there is.
Yeah, well, like that. Poorly, yes.
So we should play the Neil Diamond for everybody.
Yeah.
Neil Diamond.
Over the weekend, him singing over his own fucking song.
Boo-doo-doo.
No, 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 no. But the place went nuts, of course.
Yeah. He looks pretty good.
Neil.
Thank you, Boston.
Thank you, Boston.
What an honor it is for me to be here today. I bring love from the whole country.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Neil. Oh, good. This is probably thinking this again.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Boy. Great. Everybody. Oh, boy. Dun, dun.
Where it began.
Oh, he's off.
I can't begin to know it.
Why the fuck would they play the song?
I don't know.
Exactly. Well, just sing it a cappella, you dummy.
They have to have a karaoke version laying around. Someone could have grabbed it from their iPhone.
I like the fact that nobody knows the words. They all go da 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 da
da.
Who would believe you'd come along?
He's almost a second behind.
Yeah, he's a dope. Nice big tits, lady.
Yeah, right. Look at that pig.
That's Stephen King. He's a good dancer, Neil Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
With his tight pants. Jesus, Neil.
Big belly. Oh, sweet.
You see that?
Look at his belly.
Yeah. Did you see the two guys fake making out?
No, really?
No. He's fucking ass. See these two guys on the upper left?
I don't think they're faking it.
Watch these two guys.
They look a little
they're just
prissy.
being assholes.
He's tonguing.
And they quickly went with the...
They saw it on the monitor.
Dissolve.
That's funny. They saw themselves on the monitor.
Yeah. Guy's grabbing his friend's head hard and just sticking his tongue out and going back and forth, flailing his tongue. Don't mess with Nicole, man. She fucking gave us the business on Friday.
Why?
She was...
I think she was fucking hungover.
I don't know.
Was she cranky?
What to say.
She was pretty cranky.
She almost punched me in the face.
Why?
And then I was trying to figure out if I could take a punch from her to the face. I thought it would be fun.
She would have.
Huh?
She would have done it.
Was she really in a bad mood?
Yeah, she was not in the mood for the bullshit.
But it would suck if she broke my nose or something. I was debating it to take a shot from Nicole.
It would have been all right if she broke. Who cares if she broke your nose?
She would have done some damage.
Why was she in a bad mood?
I don't know.
Let's get her in here. I got a couple questions.
All right, back to Sweet Caroline. Love these two guys.
Making out.
He's fine.
Is he hearing the music at a different time?
Yeah, it's fucking him up. Yeah,
and now they just put more echo on him, which makes it even worse. Yeah, he's...
And when I heard runs off my shoulders.
He's here. He's singing when he's
For
hearing
him,
it.
yeah, he's hearing it when he's.
But I'm here with you.
You. Wah. Wah.
Touching wall.
Wah.
Reaching out. Touching me. Touching you.
Da, da, da.
So good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, no. All right, we're coming to the last chorus.
Starting to feel like, why are the audience note ahead of
Need to hear everybody singing.
Neil's enjoying some pizza. Wow.
Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined.
Wow. Oh. When it's time to change, you know it's time to change. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Sha-na-na-na-na.
We have someone that was at the...
Autumn turns to winter, and winter turns to spring. Ah, time to change.
We have someone that was at the game. Matt in New Hampshire. Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, I was at the game. Huge Red Sox fan. The emotion.
How big are you?
No,
Wait, you about 6'12" or something?
The emotion throughout the game was overwhelming, but that part when Neil Diamond came out was hilarious because all you could focus on was the timing that was off and his gut that was sticking out of his shirt.
His gut is... I never realized, but he's got a huge gut on him.
Yeah, he should change the name of that song to I Eat Sweets, Caroline.
Anyways, it was great. Thank you, guys.
All right, brother. Yeah, it was almost an amazing moment. Almost.
Yeah. Man.
So, when all the shit was going down on Friday, the internet was way the fuck ahead of mainstream media.
Certainly was.
Way ahead. And it was weird because the mainstream media has the same technology that the internet had. Police scanners and such.
It's that old school, we have to, go through our sources and hit the streets and pound the pavement and talk to the people. And
well, that's not working as well anymore.
No, a whole new way to get your news is go on Twitter or whatever.
You still
Facebook even.
Well, and I was having an argument with people over the weekend. You still got to decipher what's out there.
Yeah.
Because the people are like, the internet was also getting things wrong. Yeah, you still got to decipher for yourself and try to figure out shit.
Yeah.
Right?
God, that was fucking weird.
What?
I just saw it. That song, Come On, Eileen, 30 years ago.
Ouch.
30 years?
Ouch.
Oh. Yes, Chip?
What's the name of the song?
Come On, Eileen.
It just makes a face. Oh, yeah.
You like that?
What's the name of the song?
Come On, Eileen. Come On, Eileen.
Fucking, you don't get it.
Well, 30 years.
People are arguing that Sweet Caroline is not Boston's song. It's just a song they adopted.
What's the price?
They play every fucking home game.
So is fucking YMCA the Yankees song?
But now they're arguing that point on Twitter.
It's always
holy
just
fuck
an argument.
It's just been their song for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it was Brian Williams was going to one of his reporters in the field as shit was getting fucking heavy up there in Watertown. And this reporter had no idea that he was on live TV and said this is classic.
Oh, you're not listening?
No, thank you.
Oh, we don't know. I don't know shit.
So,
Well, that was a fortuitous time to dip into the coverage of New England cable news. We apologize for the language we inadvertently aired during what was a mix-up of communications on their part.
I hate
on
their part, mind you.
Quick to apologize, though. My God. Language, oh, God.
What a smug twat he is.
Smug.
Well, they picked a fortuitous time.
Fortuitous.
Oh, fucking shut up. Mr. Potato Head face. His nose, his face is all in weirdly, like was thrown together quickly.
Like Mr. Potato Head.
His face looks like there was a bunch of white mud pies thrown against the wall quickly. Dumb fucking face.
Do you like when he dips into comedy?
And I can't stand him. I met him once. He was cunty. I'll never fucking like him.
But he's a regular guy, yeah.
He's just a regular guy that just happens to give us the news.
Yeah, come on.
He's a regular Joe.
He's a douche.
And he dips into comedy every once in a while.
Regular guy. He goes on fucking what, Letterman?
Yeah, and he loosens his tie.
He's like, wait a minute, that's the stiff fucking news guy, but look how he's
fucking guy. Holy shit.
He's being just like a guy.
He knows how to have a little fun.
Hanging in my man cave, drinking a few brewskis.
That's right. He's a man dude, or a dude man, or what the fuck.
Dude man, bro.
Or
bro man.
Why can't we get that right, Sam? Is it a dude bro man or man bro dude?
Well,
I forget. I really dude bro.
Dude bro. Just dude
okay,
bro.
it is dude bro. All
Yeah.
right.
Get a call in here.
You want to talk to Nicole?
No. She was scary Friday.
She was pretty fucking scary.
She came on the after show. She said she was, believe it or not, fighting with her husband. So
yeah,
do they fight a lot?
Yeah, every now and then they get.
Well, you know what?
Squabble.
Fucking 15 years of marriage, you got to really work at it. At that point.
Week.
What?
A week after Jess and me. So that's
Oh, how long?
8 months.
Oh, 8 months.
They've only been married 8 months.
Oh, that's different.
Is that when did you get married?
June.
Oh, less than okay.
Congratulations.
Well, you were there.
Oh.
You gave the DJ your tie.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lovely
Or the DJ
girl.
gave you his tie.
Yeah.
That's right. The DJ had to give you his tie, and it didn't fit.
That's right.
I didn't have a tie.
It's embarrassing.
And then the DJ had about 30 of them in his car. All ugly, by the way.
Why would you say it? You know you listen.
I picked one that almost looked okay. I was so depressed. He had so many ugly ties.
He was so excited that Opie needed to use his tie.
Oh, I forgot my tie. Anyway, so Brian Williams is terrific.
Brian Williams' daughter is really hot, right?
How old is
she?
No, that's impossible.
What?
Really?
Look her up. Isn't she on Girls or something? She's on that Girls show.
Yeah,
Allison Williams.
Let me see.
Allison.
She's not really hot.
Not really hot.
She's definitely
cute, man.
but she's not really hot.
Well, that's not a good picture. Get a fucking good picture.
How old is she?
42.
What?
Oh, okay. She's really hot.
That's better there.
Yeah, that's a nice one right there.
Yeah.
I take back what I said about her father. He has good cum.
But more with the language. So scared that a curse word's going to get broadcasted.
Curses.
But fucking, showing complete terror is okay. I don't get it. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
When are they going to rewrite the rules with that shit?
The rules.
Blood and complete terror, okay. Saying fuck or shit on NBC, not okay. That's so stupid. And we all know it's stupid.
That's our way here.
Then you
in
got
America.
the dumb FCC saying it's okay that Ortiz said fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Go fuck yourself. How about you rewrite the rules? You're out of touch. Anyway, the Boston Bombers family speaks out. Oh, we haven't even fucking talked about the uncle. How great was he?
Well, the aunt was even better, I think.
Do you got the uncle?
He's on there.
The original uncle shit?
Yeah, that's
It's a wacky family.
That's the press conference thing with all the mics around him.
I thought that was pretty good radio when he was talking, just doing that interview and just saying like, they were bad. And I thought it was a very kind of honest.
The uncle was incredibly honest.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
You begged for their forgiveness.
Yeah, he was going off.
And what was the line about AOL? I went on the he didn't even say I went on the internet. I turned on the internet. How did he say it again? Do we have his whole speech?
Turn on the internet.
You want to just play his whole speech?
Yeah, let's get a little bit of it. See how it goes.
He was pretty amazing. And obviously he had no contact with the boys for a number of years. Mm-hmm. It seems like. It looks like there's some kind of falling out within the family itself or something. Because the last time this uncle saw the brothers, they were a lot younger.
We have heard directly from the uncle who lived.
First, the only purpose here is just to deliver our condolences and to share grief with the real victims here. Those who've been murdered, those who've been injured, this boy, this Chinese girl, this young 29 years old girl, I don't remember Casey. I just been following this. I've been following it from day one, but never ever would imagine that somehow a children of my brother would be associated with that. So it is atrocity. We're devastated. We're shocked. Yet again, I don't know. This family does not know how to share that grief with the real victims. That's pretty much.
When was the last time you saw them?
I don't know. We've not been in touch with that family for a number of years. For a number of years. Pardon me?
Did they live here?
No, they never lived here.
Man, he's angry. He's the angry uncle. No.
What happened to the audio?
I don't know.
Maybe. They never lived here.
When's the last time you saw them?
Last time I saw them was 2006. That was, I'm sorry, December 2005.
Did you ever know them to have any ill will
That could be a day off.
No. I never knew it. Even if I had a guess or something, I would just submit them myself.
What do you think provoked this?
Being losers, hatred to those who were able to settle themselves. These are the only reasons I can imagine of. Anything else to do with religion, with Islam, it's a fraud, it's a fake.
Did they have any military training at all?
No, as much again. I've seen them when they were kids.
And any experience with guns or?
I don't know. Sure, we've seen them only in 2005. Huh? We're Muslims, we're Chechens, we're ethnic Chechens.
Do you have any kids who are close to them?
Do you think that they got radicalized in any of the mosques in that area?
If that happened, most likely. Somebody radicalized them. Right. But it's not my brother, who just moved back to Russia, who spent his life bringing bread to their table, fixing cars. He didn't have time or chance or anything option. He's been working. That's it.
Can you move closer to the mics? Hold on.
No. I've not been.
Can you move up? Take a step.
I've not been in touch with my brother. No, I don't know anything about that. Again.
Have children who are close to there?
No, my family. It has nothing to do with that family.
What do you think of that? Why they're at toxic?
Pardon me?
Are you ashamed by what has unfolded?
Of course, we're ashamed.
Are you ashamed?
Yes, we're ashamed. They're children of my brother, who had little influence of them, honestly, as much as I know, who had little influence of them.
Is there any reason why you haven't had any contact with them? You haven't fallen out or anything?
It's a personal. I didn't like it, so I just.
Well, a lot of emotion right there from the uncle of the young.
Then why are you talking? Oh my God! Let him go.
Oh God, George
Stephanopoulos. What a David twat. Was there at that press conference.
More important.
So a lot of intensity there, David.
Yeah,
why are you
really,
talking?
George,
Holy fuck, there's nothing you can do that's better than this.
George Stephanopoulos fucking sucks.
Why wouldn't you just listen to him talk?
Because he's an asshole.
I mean, I want the part about the AOL.
Yeah. What an asshole.
Go back. I got to see how they handle
twat he
this.
is.
God, they just suck.
That's why nobody cares about fucking TV anymore. It stinks.
Yeah, why did he have to pop on?
He offered nothing.
You don't even understand great TV when it's unfolding in front of your eyes. Who gives a fuck if the uncle talks for 3 hours?
Yeah, what, do you got a commercial you got to get to, you fucking asshole?
It runs on its own here. You're
Sometimes
fine.
you just know.
Sometimes you just know.
Could you hit play? What is stupid Diane Sawyer going to add to this?
Nothing. They just have to be a part of it.
Bombing, of course, one still on the loose. David Curley, ABC's David Curley, was there at that press conference. So a lot of intensity there, David.
Yeah, really, George, it was almost bordering on anger. I think he's just very, very angry
that his nephews are implicated in suspect. And
fucking cunts the press
he talked at the end of that news conference, which you didn't hear. He was asked about what he thinks about America, and he spoke very glowingly and proud about being
Why didn't we hear
in
that?
America.
This guy's
adding
nothing.
The whole thing. The father of the two suspects, who apparently is back in Russia now, he said his brother.
Oh, the news. They just trip over themselves constantly.
They are the fucking worst.
And they're dopes because people went to the internet to check out the father's entire speech. It was way better than anything you could add.
Yeah, the second they cut him off, people just punched out to get the
Who
actual.
the fuck wants to hear Stephanopoulos and this jerk-off summarizing
On the phone,
when the
yeah.
guy's talking?
Right.
You got to do a phoner to interject yourselves into it?
But you interjected nothing.
We don't need you to summarize, you dopey twat. God, they're
unbelievable.
fucking hateable.
They really are.
I really hate Stephanopoulos, but I just think he's a smug cunt.
Well, they got to put their own stamp on everything.
Everything has to be stamped by them.
Gives a fuck.
Ugh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Terrible. Well, I want to hear about the AOL.
AOL. Yes, they were raised with the linen napkins, real silverware, and magnetic trays.
I got a clip from the uncle.
Did you ever know them to have any ill will towards the United States?
No. I never knew it. Even if I had a guess or something, I would just submit them myself.
What do you think? What do you think provoked this?
Being losers, hatred to those who were able to settle themselves. These are the only reasons I can imagine of. Anything else to do with religion, with Islam, it's a fraud. It's a fake.
All right.
Yeah, we got that clip. Hold on, this one.
He's a little rambunctious.
Again, the only, I say what I think was behind it, being losers, not being able to settle themselves, and thereby just hating everyone who did.
Wow.
Yes.
Where's the AOL?
I wish George Stephanopoulos would summarize what I just heard.
Yeah, right? I don't understand it.
You know, they're kicking ass in the morning ratings, though, that ABC.
Being losers.
They're kicking Matt Lauer's ass. So they're doing something right, but
all those morning shows can suck a dick.
I can't be bothered with that nonsense.
They can all suck a dick.
What kind of dick?
A big fat dick.
Gotta go hairy, right? Big fat hairy dick.
Dick.
That was what really made that insulting. Not just suck a dick. It had to be a big, fat, hairy dick. Suck a big, fat, hairy dick.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the part where he says, turn yourself in and ask for forgiveness from these people.
Yeah, that'll work.
But, and then the other problem with this whole thing, obviously you said is like a media frenzy, but all these assholes are trying to get their question. And he's already answering someone else's question, and he's giving great TV, but everyone else is so fucking me that they're shouting their questions.
Yeah.
And messing up the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it turned into a feeding frenzy.
Because they're all trying to justify their jobs.
Yeah. They all have to get their own voice there and their own question. You hear what I asked?
Right, exactly. Like, are you ashamed at what happened? Like, what kind of question is it? It's a non-question.
Yeah. Who cares if he is?
Yeah, what does that mean? You heard him say he was ashamed.
You should have answered like Billy Bibbit. No, I'm not. And then started punching his penis.
Well, we got the dad speaking out.
Oh, yeah?
Dad's coming to America.
This is, this family would make a hell of a reality show. Right, with the aunt? Do we have the aunt?
I swear to you, I that's the one thing out of all this, I have not seen the aunt yet.
Oh, the aunt is great.
And who's she married to? That guy?
I don't know. But she's fucking...
So she's, what, the brother's father's sister?
I'm not even sure.
Or married into the family?
Yeah, there she is.
I did not see her.
Everything was perfect. Because Anzor is a very loving and soft-hearted father. That's why I don't know what will happen to him now when he hears this. But apparently, even when I hear, Anzor said this and that, I don't believe Anzor said that. Who that said is his wife. I don't believe that Anzor is even able to speak now. As much as I know my brother, he would not be able to speak over the phone hearing this news.
Where is he now?
He's in Makhachkala. His
Makhachkala.
wife is there also. She joined him a few months ago because they were going back and forth.
Very nice.
I mean, his wife was going back and forth because they wanted their daughters to stay in their marriage. As I said, 2 daughters both have children.
We got to get some of the highlights from her. I did not see her at all.
She said she thinks it's a plot. Some kind of a fucking government thingy, like Alex Jones says.
False flag?
False flag operation.
Black
False
ops?
flag. False flag. Black ops. Black helicopters. Oh, yeah. Conspiracy.
Here's the dad.
Someone framed them. I don't know who exactly did it, but someone did. And being cowards, they shot the boy dead.
Oh.
There are cops like this.
When you try calling the younger one, the phone is off?
All phones are switched off. I can't even get through to my brothers. One of them is a great lawyer, and I can't get through to him. I want to get more information. Those are my kids, you understand? I'm afraid for my other boy. Maybe he will be shot dead too. They will say, well, he had weapons. Kids with weapons? You don't find weapons in a garbage dump. I have nothing more to say. It's all because I'm afraid for my son and his life. They should arrest him, maybe, and bring him, but alive. Alive. And justice should decide who's right and who is guilty.
I like the emotion that
the translator
was in.
Yeah.
Alive. Alive.
Right.
Well, the father, I get. You don't want to believe your fucking sons did that shit.
Of course.
Plus where he's from.
Yeah. You got to give him some leeway there. Yeah. Fucking.
All right.
Chechenian.
I was shocked that it was radical Islam, though.
Yeah, very.
I mean, good thing I didn't jump to conclusions.
No,
I found I could meander to conclusions and get to the same place. Just slowly waltz to conclusions.
Obama told us not to jump to those conclusions.
Wow. Well, we got some Obama talk.